Congratulations, Rebecca.
Thank you.
ESPN last year ranked all the championship teams, and you are a member of the 3rd, the 6th, the 10th, the 14th, and the 20th teams that all time. Just talk about just your place in history besides being here, and just talk about that.
I mean, you talk about teams, like I have had the opportunity to play with some very special players since I've gotten in this league. You know, I started in Sacramento playing with Yo Griffith, and then playing with Tisha Penichero, Kara Lawson, all those guys. And then being able to come into Minnesota and play with Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, J Mac, Maya Moore. I've been blessed with great teammates who had amazing synergy, and we're going to do whatever it took to compete. So, I mean, you don't win by yourself. You don't get on the best teams list by yourself. So all of those teams were special.
So what were the emotions like for you when the video was over and they put the microphone in your hand and you walk to center court and you've got to address folks?
I mean, like the video, obviously you hear people that you really care about, you admire, that in some senses you look up to, say very powerful things about you. That's special. And you know, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed having my son on my lap and looking at my wife's there, seeing my sisters and my brothers, everybody there with me. So it was special. But with the mic, when the mic got in my hand, you know, I knew that I wanted to be very intentional with making sure that I thanked everybody. So I think that kind of took the emotion away a little bit, but it was a blessing.
Other than your wife and your son, how many other family members were here?
Oh man, I would say about 15 family members. Yeah, and then some friends. My college coaches are here. So yeah, special group.
Did we hear you right? You said AP said she was going to score 32 tonight.
Subliminally, she didn't say, but she said she was going to have like a big game, and she kept looking, and she was like, "Hey, we're going to do this for you." We did have a conversation. Obviously, you want to do whatever you can to inspire the group to go out there and play hard, right? So I'm like, "Yeah, win this one for me." Like, come on, this is about me tonight. So what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to show up or not? And they went out there and they played so well and so hard. And I was so happy for them. But to hit 32 on the nose, you know, it had to be a reason, right?
One more point would have been a 30-point win.
That's very true. I think we're happy with the 31-point win. So that's cool.
Well, but as an assistant coach you've been working so hard with these guys to get them to gel, to have them come out with the best game of the season on the night that your jersey is being retired has to be very satisfying for you.
It was fun to watch. That's for sure. Having them go out there and compete that way. So tonight is fun, but you know, I would like for them to go ahead and keep that energy and keep that mojo and move on through the season. But I mean, you know, you think about that when you try to plan things like this. Well, what if the game doesn't go well? How are you going to feel afterwards? There was no question about how we all were feeling, how the rest of the night is going to go, because they went out there and they left everything they had on the floor. They played amazingly. I'm so proud of them.
A lot of times, you know, players get remembered for how many points they score, how many assists they have, things like that. But to see all the different legends of the game sitting in front of you, beside you, and speaking in the video about how you did all the things that in some cases go unnoticed, but never went unnoticed them. Just what does that mean to you to be part of an organization that really, really champions and celebrates that?
I mean, I've told Cheryl, I told Glenn that, you know, I'm so grateful that they believed in what I brought to the court, you know, because it's not always something that's going to be valued. So I appreciate them for seeing that in me. And, you know, I always appreciate my teammates. That's what I do it for. I've always been a player that wanted to go out and play well for my team and win for my team. So to have them understand that the little things that I was able to do mattered, again, that's special. And that, you know, it's a testament to the type of players that are on teams that find success.
And you said you weren't going to think ahead to your ceremony until you got there, and you know, obviously in the heat of a game, which I assume helps.
Yeah.
But just what was it like when it finally started to set in, when you see Sil up there, you see Lindsay up there saying all those things, and you see just what goes through your head in that moment?
Man, it just like, damn, this was fun. That's what went through, like when you hear them talk and you see the video and you watch it, little flashes of your career. Like, it was fun. Like, I had so much fun. I enjoyed every moment. I enjoyed the grind. I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed playing against Seal, and I enjoyed playing with Seal. Now I enjoy coaching Seal. So, you know, to see them on the screen and to look to my left and look to my right and see those type of players, it was worth the wait.
All right, we have one question on the Zoom. Christoph, go ahead.
Hello, Ms. Branson. First of all, thank you very much for your time. If you look back on your career, and what was the biggest lesson that you've taken? What is the biggest lesson that you would like to learn to your kids?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm always about the work. You know, if you don't cheat the game, if you are committed to, you know, figuring out how to be successful, then most likely you will find success. You know, I always go back to, you know, advice that I got in Sacramento about, you know, whatever it is that you're going to do it to the best of your ability. Do it into a point where if you're not playing, you earn time on the floor. And then do it so well that the coach doesn't know how to take you off the floor. And that's commitment. That's commitment to whatever that is. If you're scoring, if you're defending, if you're rebounding, whatever that is, if you're communicating, it's commitment. So, you know, I always tell our players, be committed to the details of the game and be committed to that thing that makes you great.
Any last questions for BB? All right, thank you.
Yes. He got mad.
Super proud of the team. I think we all thought this was possible today, and maybe not to the extent that it happened, but we thought we could beat the Aces. They believed in some things we didn't get done the other night. We did really well on the defensive end. Thought we were difficult to play against. I thought that getting into the paint wasn't easy for them. And we talked about this the first time we talked about the Aces, that there's 3 ways that they score. You're not going to stop all 3. They did take 37 threes. But now that our team trusted that if we continue to focus on our identity, which is make it difficult to be in the paint, that things could work out for us. And it was a big number for them to see that even though we gave up 12 made threes, they shot, under 37% and only scored 71 points. I think that was a real eye opener for our team.
Every time the Aces seemed to hint that maybe they're about ready to make this a game, you guys responded. I think there was a 5-0 finish to the second quarter and 11-1 finish to the third after they'd done something. I mean, just the responses tonight were always there.
Yeah. And we've talked about that. We talked about in that timeout that you're referring to end the second quarter. We wanted to win the 3 minutes and we won that. We were +5 in that. We talked a lot about getting out in the third quarter. We've been here before with Vegas, in Vegas, where we were up, had a great first half, and then just third quarter, just didn't answer. And so it was on their minds. They, like I said, we're right now at this point, we're very self-aware, kind of our kryptonite. And so I think just there was just incredible communication, incredible accountability. Like I said, we all know each other well at this point. And so heading off some things that, maybe start to trend a certain way, and everyone was very open to hearing what needed to happen.
25 missed threes, 1 offensive rebound, 15 offensive rebounds for you guys. You tie a franchise record 53 rebounds for the second time in a week.
Yeah.
On the night, Rebecca Brunson gets her jersey retired.
Yeah.
Just what did it mean to you to see your team really epitomize everything that she was about on a night like tonight?
I don't know if they thought about it, but it sure is a cool story. I think a lot of these players don't really understand Rebecca and her relentlessness and determination and really what it took to be so exceptional. But I don't know if they did it for her or not. And if they did, that's really cool. But the really eerie one is Powers getting 32. That's really eerie. I don't know if you saw the July 3rd stat. July 3rd in 2021, we beat Phoenix by 31. July 3rd, 2022, we beat the Aces by 31. players determined that the common number was 3 and that they were going to be playing, I don't know, whatever you do to, go play 3 and gamble and try to win some money. Powers getting 32. July 3rd in 2021 versus Phoenix. We beat them by 31. That was in Phoenix. And then July 3rd this year, which was today.
You want to give the other number while you're rattling them off? What is it now? 137?
137 and 5.
There we go.
When we hold them below 40. And this is not an easy team to do that with. I got to tell you, we were hopeful just to kind of get them in the lower 40s. We were hopeful to, the key stat was the points in the paint, 20 points in the paint. And I know our team was super proud of that. That took trust, that took awareness, work, commitment, and I'm just happy that they saw the results of that.
Just the way you guys, it was such a polar opposite of Friday's game in the start. I mean, in many ways, exactly different. They had a 13-point lead before the game hardly started last time. You were up 13-0 today, and it was really all Powers that kind of kickstarted that whole thing.
She did.
I mean, it was a career game for her. Can you just talk about all the things she was able to do for you tonight?
Yeah. And we talked to the starters about, obviously we didn't play well the other night. We had too many players that were subpar. We talked to the starter group about what they needed to be for each other. I thought that AP has been trending in this direction. I think that she's been making better decisions, not getting jammed up, getting into the low percentage area, taking hard shots about 6 or 7 feet from the basket. I think she's been really mindful. Has been very coachable, and her aggression led to great things. She wasn't thinking. I think she'll tell you that. Most players like that, when they don't think, they're really good, and I think AP was in that place, and getting the couple flagrants, and just kind of fueled her, to be able to put points on the board. And biggest thing was we wanted to make sure that her second half, first half was great. We've seen it before. Come out in third quarter and nothing. So we were really challenging her to continue to play and be really good for, the second half as well. And I was impressed that she was able to do that today. I did not. I had no idea. I did not.
Yeah, she was really demonstrative on a couple of occasions too.
When is she not?
Well, I mean, I don't think we've seen the pose down before.
I miss all that, so I have to go back and watch those things. I don't see a lot of that.
It's entertaining. She made a bucket from the foul line and turned to some guy on a baseline and did one of these.
You guys like that stuff, huh? Yeah, that's her. That's her personality. Yep. All right. Okay, anybody else?
One on the Zoom. Go ahead, Lucas.
Lucas.
Coach, Aces take the season series 3-1, but you outscore them by 18. Lynx have now had the number 1 offense in the league for going on a month now. Defense seems to really be turning a corner. Should teams kind of be aware of what the Lynx are doing here in the second half? Are you guys kind of like lions lying in the grass here? Looking to stock some prey as the season goes on?
I mean, that sounds fun. But I don't know what other teams think of us. But what I do know is that we're looking up, and we've got a lot more work to do to make sure that, that we're not a team that's on the outside of the playoffs. We're trending in the right direction, but winning games in this league is hard. Are we starting to understand what it takes? Yes. Have we done well in this, this home stretch? We didn't play well against Vegas in that first matchup. But I like where we are, and we've got a Chicago team coming in here that we feel similarly to, with the Vegas series where we've played them pretty well, and we're ready to try to get over the hump with them too.
Any more for Coach? Thank you.
All right, thanks.
We'll have Rachel and AP next together.
Thank you.
No. Why? I already took my socks off and I didn't feel like putting it back on. Okay. Thank you.
Rachel, how did it feel as a team to kind of come out and play the way you guys did today on the day that your assistant coach was getting your number retired?
It felt so good. It was so fun. We were saying before the game, like, do it for BB. She deserves it. It had such a great crowd. The crowd was into it. We played, I think everyone played so well. So it's just kind of fun that everything came together tonight.
And just for you guys to play in the spirit and the manner of the way that Rebecca always played with, flying around in the glass. She had 15 offensive rebounds. I think they missed 25 threes, only gave up 1 offensive rebound. Was that something that you guys were extra focused on today, knowing that her number was going up there?
Yeah, I mean, we did just say that we're going to fly around and play hard. So it was kind of weird how it worked out, like how well we played for her. And we were talking about like the numbers, like how AP had 32 points and it was, BB's number. I don't know. So it was just kind of funny how it worked out, but I'm really glad it did.
And do you guys kind of black out when there's just this avalanche of threes coming? Kayla throws you a pass in the corner, you shoot it before it even goes through. She's jumping up and down, throwing your threes up in the air. Just what is it like when everything's going in like that?
It feels so good. I feel like we kind of had that momentum and everyone was just playing, flying around, having fun, sharing the ball. It just feels good. Like you just feel like we're playing light and we're playing confident and we have a little bit of swag. And we just know that like that shot's going to go in. And even if it doesn't, like we still feel so good about it. We know that we're going to get it back or get another good shot. So that's really how it felt. Cause we didn't make all of our shots, but we got really good possessions and good shots.
Given the opponent you played today and the way you guys won, I mean, you guys won 4 of 6 now. Got another big game on Wednesday, obviously with first place Chicago. But how do you feel about kind of where this team is at right now as the second half is getting underway?
I think that we've shown so much growth. Obviously, we didn't start out the way we wanted to, but I said this before, we're never going to give up. We're going to keep trying to grow, keep getting better. And I think that we've showed that. I mean, we still have a ways to go. And we talk about it. Some of these games that have been so close, we actually really haven't played that great. So we're excited to see like when we really put it fully together, what kind of team we can look like. So I'm hoping that we continue to do that and keep getting better.
You talk about putting it all together. Defensively, you held them like 20 points fewer than the other night. What was the biggest difference for that?
We really emphasized protecting the paint tonight. We did that before the last game, but I don't think that we focused enough on it this last time we played them. So today we were like, we're protecting the paint no matter what. We're going to sit in there, make them take tough shots, if they make contested twos, oh well, we'll live with it. So I think that we just decided, hey, we're going to stand in the paint and we're going to protect it because that's where they want to be. And we did a good job with it.
It looked like there was a really clear emphasis on the second anybody got a rebound to just try and really fly up the court. And you had them on the heels the whole entire game. Do you really feel like today was kind of the best performance that you guys have had in that regard?
For sure. I mean, and it also helps like when you're able to get stops and able to get rebounds like that, you're able to push it up the floor and play with pace. So, it always comes down to defense creates offense. And I think you really saw that tonight and you're able to push and it's hard. It sucks to play against that when you're missing shots and you have to continually be in transition defense. And I feel like we attack them in that. And that's usually what they do to teams. And I feel like we kind of gave it to them.
You guys have had great halves this year and come out in the third and not been so great. Tonight, there was probably 2 or 3 times when Vegas kind of pushed to a point where you thought maybe they're going to make this a game. Every time you guys responded, I think the 5-0 finish to the second quarter, the 11-1 finish to the third quarter. I mean, just the response. Is that kind of another step for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, our third quarters have been kind of gross. And so we've been really talking about that. We're like, all right, come out strong. Like we emphasize it at halftime in our huddles. And, teams are going to go on runs. We realize that, but we need to be able to fight through that adversity. And I think that we've done better with that in controlling the other team's runs and being able to make shots, even if they are scoring too. So I think we've showed that it helps when you're shooting well too, so we've done a lot better job of not letting teams go on these crazy runs.
All right. We have one on the Zoom. Lucas, go ahead.
Rachel, one of the last times we spoke with you, there was some pretty obvious frustrated feelings in the air, but kind of over the last couple of weeks, from an outsider perspective anyway, it seems kind of like just the general vibe around the team has been different. What's kind of changed over the last couple of weeks other than, simply winning more basketball games?
Yeah, I think we're just sticking together. We're all going through it, when it was frustrating, we're all feeling that way. So I think we just continued to push together. We had some really hard practices. We had to go through it a little bit and it wasn't easy. Just tough days. And I feel like when teams go through that, you really grow together. And I feel like we just have gotten a lot closer. All of us are really, really close and we have a good time off the court too. So that always helps. So yeah, I think we just continue to push through the adversity and it's showing.
Any last questions for Rach? Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you guys.
So did you really promise Brunson 32 points?
Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But I did tell her towards the end of the game, I was like, man, I'm so happy we got this win for you on your night. Because no one wants to have their night and then, we lose or something like that. But we came out, played really aggressive on both ends, and got the job done.
Great defense. I think they were under 40%.
Yeah.
You answered every run that they kind of took at you after you had the big start. But just your career day, I mean, you came out 14 points first quarter. What was going on with you tonight?
I didn't even know that, actually. I just felt like I let my team down last game, to be honest. Coach came to me and was like, in shoot around today, it was like, you got to play like you played in the fourth quarter. All quarters, like, we need that from you. And I know that I didn't do that. And I was, bummed out about it. I felt like I had a big part in us losing last game. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be locked in defensively as well. So just making sure I was there for my teammates in that way.
You guys held the Aces to 25 missed threes, and you only gave up 1 offensive rebound, and you had 15 offensive rebounds yourselves. To really play in the way that epitomizes, Rebecca on the night she's getting her jersey retired. Was that a focus for you guys coming into tonight?
Coach did give us some goals and not letting Vegas get offensive rebounds or extra chance points. So we definitely took that into account coming into today's game, especially after losing to them a couple of days ago. So it's just ironic that we were able to get that many offensive rebounds on her night. It's kind of crazy.
And you've talked about a lot this season about yourself and your teammates, not being locked in on every possession and really needing to make it, a 1-possession game every single time. And you had your hand or your nose in the ball, in the play, almost every single time down the floor. Just how much of a focus was it really for you to just try and be as disruptive as you possibly could?
A lot. I don't know if you guys noticed, Coach started me on Chelsea Gray. So she runs, their team, and she brings the ball up. So just trying to frustrate her a little bit or disrupt the offense or the flow of it. So trying to just be better every game, and I have to start getting more consistent in everything I do.
AP, there was one point in the third quarter, I think you went down, you kind of felt like you came out of nowhere, grabbed a rebound. Shortly thereafter, Vegas turned it over, committed a foul. I think I saw you put your hand to your ear and then kind of high-fived a little girl.
Yeah.
How much fun are you having out there tonight?
Man, a lot of fun. I love it when we have, as a team, momentum plays or momentum shifters, and you can feel the crowd get into it. And for me, like, I can be almost tired, and when I feel them get into it, man, it just does something to my body where I'm like, okay, I can get this next play. I'm not tired anymore. So, like, that's why I'm like, come on, like, I need y'all, stand up. Because it really does a lot for me when I hear them into it.
Yeah, so that's why early on you make the basket, the foul on, you kind of going like this to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
What was the pose down part about it? How did you actually pick somebody out of the crowd and gave them one?
Oh, man, because I think when I got the N1,
yeah.
I just was feeling it, man. I was like, strong, let's go, y'all, let's go. And just to beat a team like Vegas, they're such a great team, right? And, we had our struggles, and we are now starting to turn the corner. And to beat a team like that, like the way we did, it just shows you what we can be, how well we can start to play. Or if when we get the number behind us, teams are going to have troubles with us, because we beat a team like Vegas and look at their record and where they're sitting in the standings. So we beat them like that, and the way we played, and honestly could have beat them the last game. I mean, that says a lot about our team and where we can go.
So in the post game, and you're sitting there, and your assistant coach has got the microphone in her hand, and she's getting ready to talk. What's kind of going through your mind as she's getting ready to speak?
Man, BB, it's crazy because I told somebody this, I forget who it was, and I was like, man, BB just so chill. She get her point across, but she's just so chill about it. Like, you can come to her and she's like, listen, I know, in the flow of the game, sometimes it's just everything's hectic. I know, but you got to do this and this and that. And it's just like, I wonder how she was to play with as a teammate, because she's just so awesome as a coach. And it's crazy because you always wonder, like, what does it take and how does she feel getting her number retired, right? put up in the rafters. And she talked a little bit about that. And I know Seal talked a little bit about it. And she was her teammate. And a lot of things she said stuck out to me. One of the things is the that coach said, I think Sylvia said it, and she said it again when she got the mic, just being consistent. And I was like, man, okay, I gotta work on I gotta work on that. I gotta work on being consistent in everything I do. And being, like I said, being there for my teammates in every way. So I was proud and happy for her because as a coach, our relationship is great. And I know that she deserves it because I watched her play too. It's not like I don't know what she's capable of, but it's just interesting to see her on the other side of, the ball and how she presents herself to us. So I'm always wondering, even though I watched her play, how it was playing with her. So I was happy Seal talked to that a little bit.
A couple of other people have
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You talked about that fourth quarter in the last game and how you needed to have more quarters like that. I saw that Shell really tore into you. Late in that might have been late third quarter in between the quarters.
I think it was late third, right before fourth.
Just how important is it for you to have, a relationship with a coach with her pedigree to be willing to, kind of tear into you when I don't need it maybe, but then also be the first person to celebrate when you have a night like you did tonight.
It's crazy. Our relationship is crazy too because she's so passionate. I'm so passionate. And she came to me and she was like, I need you to be a better player. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, you right. I'm like, you're right. And I was like, okay, I got you. So when she put me back in, like, that was just my goal. Like, okay, she's right. Like, you're not doing the things that you do. You're not even playing like Aerial Powers. You're not even, like, you mentioned me being involved with the crowd and energy that I bring. Like, that wasn't even me the first 3 quarters. And I was like, man, you right. All right. So then when I got in, I was able to do that. And then we talked to shoot around. She's like, you had a good fourth quarter. She's like, we need you to have that the rest of the game. And sometimes, I don't know if she knows this, but it means a lot when she says anything to me or says things like that. Like, oh, I'm like, you know what? I got your back. Like, you're right. I have to be better. So it's great that we have a relationship where she could say that and be brutally honest with me, and I can go out there and perform, so.
We got 2 on the Zoom. Lucas, go ahead.
Ariel, to kind of keep going on that same topic, you're asked kind of night in and night out to guard one of the better defenders on the opponent's team's wings, whether they're top on ball option or whatever. But how difficult is to not only have to apply yourself fully to guard the opposing team's best wing option and then also be a primary threat on the offensive end of the court. Not all 5 players on the team are necessarily given that much responsibility.
I was just talking to somebody about that. I was like, man, I feel like sometimes when I'm guarding like a harder player, I feel like I'm more engaged a little bit because I'm not thinking as much. Like some people just, like Chelsea Gray she always has the ball. So I always have to be up on her. Enrique always has the ball. So I always got to be locked in. And I just feel like it allows me not to think so much too. And I ask for sub when I'm dead tired, and Coach does a great job of rotating us out. But I think maybe it helps me get more engaged because I'm just not thinking. I'm just playing, because I know this girl's gonna get the ball. You have to be locked in, So, I don't do everything right, but I think I'm a little bit more locked in when I have the opportunity.
All right, we'll go last question to Christoph.
Hey, AP, great game, great win, first of all.
Thank you.
Speaking about Coach Barton, how she affects to you on your game and how she can inspire you to getting better player this season.
The first part of your question, can you repeat that? It broke up.
Yeah, how Coach Barton affect to you?
Oh, BB. It's important. I think it was before the Dallas game. She came up to me and she was helping me out. She was like, take one more dribble. When sometimes you're like shooting these faders or you're not getting all the way to the cup. And when you get all the way to the cup, you're either drawing a foul or you're making the layup. And she was like, you just need to take one more dribble sometimes. And I'm like, what do you mean? And so she was showing me a drill, and we did it before the game in Dallas, and she had me rip the ball, and she puts a lot of pressure on me. BB's long, and I lay the ball up on both sides. So we've been doing that almost every game day and stuff. And it really has helped me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm getting to the rack. And when I get to the rack, I'm not shooting my floaters. I'm, getting to the rack and I'm laying it up, and I'm getting more and-1s ever since we talked about it, actually. So she means a lot to me as a coach, and then her as a player, and this organization, she means a lot. I mean, people don't get their jerseys retired for anything. Like, she's done a lot of things. Even having 5 rings is just, I hope that I could do that, but I mean, it's amazing just to think of everything that she's done and how hard she's worked. I mean, and she's someone that I admire and look up to, because I think every player that loves basketball wants to play as long as BB did and have 5 rings. Like, that's crazy. So she means a lot to this game and a lot to me.
Any last questions for AP? Thanks, AP.
All right. Thank you, guys. See y'all.